Alright, should be live now. And we are. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Yet another week here in the ARC F1 2023 season. We're in Baku this time around for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Getting started with some qualifying now. Baku, always a fun one.
Yeah, I just need a minute, Alex. Pizza delivery guy showed up. My dog hates it, so.
A few making their way out onto track now. Jonathan Jurgensmeyer looks to be the first among them. Here we are, Baku City Circuit. For one weekend here in Azerbaijan, we transform the streets of the city into a thrilling Formula One battleground. 6 kilometers for a lap. Unique challenge most of the way through. High-speed straights and tight corners. A lot of 90-degree corners for the drivers to have to navigate this week. Overtaking opportunities are, of course, aplenty, making for intense battles and edge-of-your-seat action. Should be seeing plenty of action, of course.
Yeah, Alex, the streets of Baku are narrow as well. You got wide straights that just get narrow in the corners. We see Jurgensmeyer going up through the castle section. We've seen people in real life, we've seen people in league racing all the time getting things wrong. It'll cost you a wing, much like we had last week in Monaco. No front downforce here is an absolute killer. You want to keep all the wingly bits on the car for the remainder of the race.
Of course. This circuit, obviously, it's a unique blend. As mentioned, high-speed straights and tight technical corners. The track winds through the heart of Baku, featuring a mix of wide-open stretches, narrow passages, and challenging corners. The circuit tests drivers' skill and concentration as they navigate the historic city walls and reach blistering speeds along the Caspian Sea. Made famous, of course, for its castle section, historic part.
Yeah, you see it all the time on the broadcast in the real life, just how beautiful it is. Right there on the front stretch, so to speak, the pit straight just to your right is a giant body of water. But you can see this place is beautiful, the speeds are incredible, and the action usually doesn't disappoint. As the saying goes after every race, well done, Baku. Look for much the same. We had a compelling race last week for, well, I'd say second, because first place was kind of in hand as the Williams did what the Williams has done all season and just absolutely walk the field. Looking for the same success here, Alex.
Yes, and I'm sure most of the drivers coming off of last week's Grand Prix also, being at Monaco, they will be right back into their comfort zone here as opposed to the much different style of racing that a track like Monaco demands of you. They will be much more on the pace, and we'll see probably less incidents, and things should go normally here. Following along now with Jonathan Jurgensmeyer as he's laying down his first lap and the first lap of the session. Should be a representative time. He's been qualifying very well most of the season.
Yeah, he's been on it, so to speak. Had a great run last week at Monaco as well. Just been consistent throughout. So, is he the first one that's gonna? Yeah, I think he is the first one. We've already had a retirement. I don't know if that's a qualifying ban. I'll have to look into that. Give me 1 second.
Jurg down the start-finish straight now. Maybe looking at the low. He's into the 41s. It's a 41-2 for Jonathan Jurgensmeyer. And across the line right behind him is Andrew Davis in the Alpine, 1,000th of a second off with the 41-222. However, it's Mikey de Jong in the Williams that says, thank you very much. Comes right in with the 40.088. Puts him about a second, 1.2 seconds clear of the previous two.
I can say this, there's only one driver with a quali ban this week, and that would be Josh, who's currently out on track. Now, quali ban doesn't necessarily mean he can't go out on track. Quali ban just means he can't set a lap time. So you can go out there, you can get the feel of the car, you can just burn through a couple sets of tires.
Big incident there for Zane Bradley, the rookie reserve in the Haas. Wow, that camera angle was very strange with the broadcast camera to see that incident. However, he has crashed out on his first lap of the session. Yellow flag will be out in Sector 3 to clean that car up. However, in the time since, or in the meantime, however, it was Boryoshi that shot up to second place on the board, getting the toe off his teammate, Luke Allen. Time starting to come across.
Yeah, that's not how you want to debut for your first league race, is crashing out. But I mean, you know, you can nail strategy here. It's probably going to be a one-stop. Most likely, we've seen one-stops throughout the season. So, going to be a bit hard, but this track, if you got pure pace, you can make moves and just, you know, capitalize on others' mistakes. Just take what's given to you, have a good race, and next thing you know, you're in the points. We've seen it all season long.
Next across the line in that time was Ayrton Frederick, P9 in the Alfa Romeo with the 143. Blurry Julio in the Mercedes, Julius Duku doing very well to qualify in the top 6, sitting on a 141.3 at the moment.
Yep, just trying to see who's setting the lap. Fidel Fabian, he's headed into the pit. Ooh, we got an Aston Martin completely blocking the track there. Adam Pelt. Make sure you're not in the way of anybody. Just backs it up and gets it going. I don't think there's any damage, so it's definitely going to hurt those tires.
It will. Onward he rolls, and he'll be looking to lay one down his next time around.
You see
Matt Daly at the moment coming down the straight. Looks to be on a lap, however, maybe just banking for this upcoming one.
Nope.
It does not seem... Yep. Into the pits he goes. Only a few cars on track at the moment. A lot of people banking their laps and heading back in.
Oh, well, that's not good.
And it's the AlphaTauri of Josh Bowditch shooting up into P2 with the 140. Kisses the wall for good measure.
He is actually not supposed to set a lap time. He has got a ban for qualifying. Not sure why that happened. That's not good. That's
Could
not
have
legal.
Been miscommunication or something. I'm sure there will be a grid penalty incurred, if not a race ban. I mean, I guess we'll see. The stewards will have to decide come the end of the session, but... Yep, as mentioned at the top of the session, at the top of qualifying, he was the only driver on track that seems to be having a qualifying ban, but does not seem to be operating by it.
Well, that's an interesting one. I don't know where the rules sit with that one, but I can assure you it's probably not good.
Is there anybody that seems to be on a lap at the moment? Matt Stotts has retired.
Yeah, in the castle section, much like his counterpart Charles Leclerc.
Jamie Knock, however, just put down a purple Sector 1.
Another driver's had pace all season. Just the mistakes seem to find him week in, week out. He's got an incredibly fast car, has the pace to get it done, but like I said, trouble just finds him every race. Unlike the Williams finds trouble early, gathers it up, gets a good finish. The Alfa Romeo's seemingly finding trouble late, no chance to really get finished. So he'll look to try and get a good quali run here.
Into turn 16. Jamie Knock also laying down the purple Sector 2. Nothing left till the finish line for him to have to lift off the throttle for. We'll see what time he manages to lay down come here.
The car just looks very unstable through the corners. It's just like he's on the edge, but not like a good edge. It just seems very edgy. But where there's an edge, there's speed, apparently, as he goes fastest by a 1/10 and a half almost.
Provisional pole it is for Jamie Knock in the Alfa Romeo. Nice lap. Halfway through qualifying we find ourselves now, and I'm sure those times will start to trickle down across the board. A lot of drivers sitting in that 41, 42 territory, and I'm sure we'll see plenty more at the top of the board start to drop into the 39s. So Jamie Knock may have to bank another if he hopes to maintain pole position, and he'll have to go even faster, I imagine. Yellow's out. Have we had an incident?
Yeah,
Looks like
Adam
there's an...
Pelk. He's struggling with those mediums. I understand he's out there trying to set a just trying to set a banker lap, but those mediums are cooked. He's had trouble. It's the second time. Just looks so unstable in the rear. Just no grip for him. That's going to be troublesome come the race, because you know most of these drivers are either going to start on the medium or the hards, unless you get a risky guy trying to go for the soft stint, get fast at first. But
Tyler Crabtree
nonetheless,
next to cross the line. He must have had traffic or something in his first lap, as it was about a 158. Only manages to advance to P14 on the 144 for the time being. And Luke Allen retires from the session. May have had an incident. Oh, it looks like he is stopped on track.
never a good sign.
Abdul Al-Hazmi's lap may have been compromised a little bit in the Williams, but we'll wait and see on bated breath as he comes through the final sector. Working his way through turn 15 at the moment, into 16 he goes.
Purple. Whereas the Alfa Romeo looks so unstable, this Williams looks tied to the road. What a dream to be driving this car. Look, it's just seamless.
Yeah, the car control seems to be really on point for Mr. Al-Hazmi this weekend. Coming across the line off the purple sector 2. And it will be good enough for provisional pole into the 39s he goes.
You could just see it was just gripped up so well. There was so much grip there in the rear. He absolutely blasted out of the final two corners. What a huge run down the straight, too. 3/10 the gap. That's... Oh! And then his teammate, you say that, goes just 1.2 or 0.12. But the Williams showing the pace. They might have cleaned it up, you know, like I said, they've had... I don't want to, you know, knock on wood. Maybe they've just ruled out those incidents. We saw last week they needed to stay incident-free from the go, and from go to woe they were incident-free. 1-2 for them, securing their spot atop the constructors.
Into the pits, Fabian ducks, and it does not look like many others will be laying down a lap this time around. Some more coming across.
Ayrton's in the wall.
Oh, he is. Yellows are out right at the end of Sector 2 for the moment. He gets it going again, and onward we move. However, that will have fully compromised his lap. So he will be racing back to the pits, I imagine, as teammate Jamie Nock heads out on his next out lap. Looking to put one down, was on provisional pole for a solid 2 minutes or so. But as expected, those times are starting to fall, and he'll have to put down another good one.
Yeah, Red Bull coming through, surely ducking into the pit. Yeah, it's just letting off now. I don't believe anybody's on a lap right now. No. Fabian decides that's enough. He's going to wait. It's a bit unusual. We've seen all season, we've had the top 5 usually just separated by less than a second, but it just seems like there's a bit more field spread this week. Again, can't really... Not sure if we should count Josh's time, as it shouldn't even been posted, but nonetheless, he's there.
He is there, of course, and that will have to be hashed out come the end of the qualifying session, of course. I'm just most surprised, I feel, by how conservatively everybody seems to be playing this session. You know, banking one lap, and then they're heading in, and they're really looking to get out with as little traffic as possible, and just kind of playing each other's hands and stuff.
I just want to say, in the old chat, someone's throwing down the gauntlet, and it's first time driver debut Zane Bradley saying it's a last to first challenge, so he's absolutely throwing down the gauntlet. I don't think he's seen these Williams, though. I don't think he's tuned in and seen what these two guys are capable of week in, week out. I mean, we'll see.
I mean, we surely will. We'll be here for the... Ooh! And that's Matt Daly into the wall and out of the session.
Glory Julio, he had to take evasive maneuvers, went down the Lance Stroll Boulevard. He's just,
Oh,
now it's an Austin Powers situation, but he gets, oh, that Aston Martin is destroyed.
it is disappointing for Matt Daly. He was pretty smooth through Sector 2 on his first 2 laps of the session, but this time around he just could not manage to keep it under control and
Oh
ends
no,
up in the wall.
Al Hasmi's been picked out of the session. Let's not that be the thing.
Can only assume it has to be technical difficulty related. We'll try to get him back.
Try and get him back in, yeah.
However, it'll be interesting to see if he holds that top spot on provisional pole, not able to put down a final lap. Teammate Mike de Jong moving his way up the board right to the back of Al Hasmi, separated by about a tenth. Gabe Cazzola in the Alpine seems to be improving by quite a margin on his previous best lap. Coming through turn 4. Across the line into Sector 2 he goes, and he, I believe, has backed out. A few more retirements coming in.
Yeah. Just trying to make sure I got Al Hasmi his invitation. A lot of guys talking about, we got Maddie talking, I am stupid, obviously reference to the crash there in the castle section. Luke Allen firmly agreeing with him. He feels the same way as both Red Bulls. Oh, sorry, one Red Bull, one Aston Martin. Poor Yoshi quietly is just sitting there P4.
Not much movement on the timing board for the moment. Ooh, and Tyler Crabtree barely yanks it out of the way of that wall that we just saw Matt Daly end up in.
Sure, who's crossing? I think.
Ooh, big step out for Adam Pelk there. Oh man, coming out of turn 4.
He just has not had the grip all session. You can just see the no confidence in the rear end, no grip, medium, softs, it doesn't matter. Ooh.
And I believe that was Andrew Davis in the Alpine that got really squirrely behind him. However, does maintain it, does not end up in the wall. Ooh, and that is another Aston Martin of Adam Pelk in the wall in the same spot as his teammate. And that is both Astons crashed out of the qualifying session here.
Jonathan Jurgensmeyer improves his time, but not his position.
Checkered flag is out. A few drivers left. One of them, of course,
Andrew Davis isn't improving. He's 4 seconds down on his best time.
Josh Bowditch into the pits he goes. I think at this point he might. Ooh, big moment there. I think he might have understood that he does not have a right to bank another lap, so he must have bailed out.
No, I believe Luke said he didn't want to take a qualifying ban this week. He'd rather take 2 for the next 2 races. And I guess AJ's allowed it, so that time will stand. There'll be no further investigation on that. So, yeah, I think that's going to wrap it up for qualifying. I don't think anybody else is...
Does not look like anybody else is yet to finish their lap. It was Boryoshi who was the last car out who had not finished yet. But there you have it. It is Abdul Rahman Al Hazmi, provisional pole in the Williams after having some technical difficulties and leaving the session. Teammate Mikey de Jong takes P2, lining up on the front row alongside him. And it's Jamie Knock holding on for the P3 start in the Alfa Romeo. Very nice. Boryoshi, of course, holding P4. Blurry Julio, Julius Duku in the Mercedes taking P5, and Josh Bowditch on the qualifying ban manages P6. He's going to have to convert that into some serious points if it's going to be any worthwhile for the next 2 Grand Prix. Andrew Davis in the Alpine lining up P7 with Jonathan Jurgensmeyer and company, the Haas P8. Matt Daly lining up P9 with Fabian in the McLaren P10. Who else we got here? Gabe Cazol in the Alpine P11 and Luke Allen in the Red Bull P12. Ayrton Frederick takes P13. Tyler Crabtree on his new team, his debut for the McLaren. He will start P14 today.
Adam Pelk, who we saw struggle all session, will start from P15. Got a lot of work to do. Stepping into AJ Knickel's car for the week. AJ couldn't make it. Reserve driver Adam gets the start. 2 Ferraris, 16th, 17th, and the new guy, Zane Bradley, P18. That's the grid. Well, Alex, it might be a little bit the same at the front, but midfield, we might have a dogfight on our hands. In between about 30 feet of concrete, anything can happen.
It looks like it. And those struggles that we were seeing all qualifying through the chicane section of Sector 2 is sure to cause trouble. I just already feel it. We're going to see fireworks today, folks.
Yeah.
Waiting now to get everybody in.
From my experience, every league race I've ever witnessed or been a part of at Baku's just always has some sort of excitement. Although I don't think we'll see what we saw last night in Indy Lights. Won't have any pack racing, but we'll have racing nonetheless at higher speeds. Looking at 215, especially with slipstream, drivers are going to be pushing 216 miles an hour into turn 1. And that's where people get a little ballsy, go for the move there that shouldn't be there, you know, see some incidents. I mean, these 90-degree corners, like you spoke of at the beginning of the broadcast, high speed, slow corners.
It will be interesting either way. Onto the formation lap we go, and we see the pit stop strategy, medium to hard for the one-stopper, or the two-stopper involving a soft compound there. We'll see what the drivers choose to employ.
Yep, we got Al Hazmi out front on the mediums. From 2nd to 6th, we got hards. Then from 7th down to 11th with Gabe, we have sets of mediums. Then from Luke in 12th all the way down to 17th hards, and Zane Bradley looking to make up ground quick with the medium tires. No, we're taking softs. Obviously, that's just high deg track. I mean, we didn't see it really last week in Monaco because Monaco is Monaco, but don't expect to see many softs unless, you know, wing damage, someone's going to have to counter their strategy, but these Williams, though, what a season thus far they've had. They've just been absolutely walking away with it. Pull the points up. Yeah, Mikey de Jong. Remember last week the gaps we had? They were so close. Now it's a 20-point gap to his teammate. He's sitting at... Oh, wait, no. That's a 20-point gap to Horiyoshi in the Red Bull.
It is, yeah.
17 to 97. Al Hazmi sitting with 95, 2 points back from 2nd place. Jonathan Jurgensmeyer, we spoke about it earlier, super consistent, quiet, not a lot of stuff. Sits P4, 94 points. He's just 1 point out of 3rd in the championship.
Interesting, though, that the last time we checked the leaderboards last week, the top 4 were only separated by 12 points total. So, things have really shaken out.
Yeah, but it's not even close in the constructors. Williams, 238 to Haas's 122. So, constructors is well in hand, but hey, anything's alive right now. It just takes one mistake, especially around the streets of Baku.
Into their grid spots they'll go now, trying their best not to line up incorrectly and incur any penalties. Seems that, just one it looks like, Ayrton Frederick of the Alfa Romeo. Everybody else seems to be good though, save for, of course, the Ferraris who did not perform a formation lap. But here we go. From Azerbaijan for the Baku City Circuit. 2023 ARC Formula 1 Azerbaijan Grand Prix is underway with Abdullah Al Hazmi. Adam Pelk getting a terrible start. Abdullah Hazmi, however, did not get a terrible start, managed to pull away a decent bit from Mikey de Jong. However, they are still right there together. The order is really shaking up. Further down we look, and it is incidents
Calamity
abound,
corner.
it looks like.
Alfa Romeo around.
Fidel Fabian getting the short end of whatever he managed to run into, and it is Gabe Cazzola also dropping a few positions. Wow,
Yeah,
things are
too
dicey.
wide. 2 into 1 doesn't work. There's wings flying everywhere. That's damage on Luke Allen's Red Bull.
Oh, and he has fallen out of position for it. No major incidents at the moment, it looks like. However, some damage definitely. That is an end plate gone from the Red Bull.
Is this a VSC? Yeah, it's a virtual safety cars out. There's so much debris on the track already. We've lost Adam Pelk from the session.
Fidel Fabian is lost his right end plate. Let's see if we can scope out any more damage. Luke Allen, of course, also losing an end plate. I believe Matt Daly might have ended up with a little bit of damage there, too. Jonathan Jurgensmeyer, however, comes out of it relatively unscathed, it looks like. No damage in. He was in the thick of it. Holds tight in P7 for the moment, under virtual safety car. And it's the Williams that really just, over the course of about half a lap.
Yeah, the reverse of this scenario last week where Mikey de Jong took off from the field and got going quick and it was never in question. Looking to maybe return the favor this week, but they're well and clear already by 3 seconds to the AlphaTauri of Josh. Josh kind of feels like the cork on the bottle that's holding up everybody else, but after look at the amount of pit stops taking place here, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cars in the pit.
Lots of cars already coming in, it looks like, yes. Will it be for damage? Will it be for tires? Did not seem to have any spins, so I can't imagine too many will be changing their tires. However, plenty that received damage.
Yeah, well, you got no choice but to take new tires when you enter the pit, unfortunately. Safety VSC is ended, so
looks like it. We are back to racing conditions, and it is still, of course, the Williams just pulling away from the field at this point. Josh Bowditch does seem to be the bottleneck, as mentioned. Andrew Davis looking did
Gabe
not quite
hopped
have
in the
it.
curb, made contact with the wall down there in the beginning of Sector 2. Doesn't look like any damage, able to continue on, so he avoided calamity.
Already sitting upon a track limit penalty, though.
Yep. I mean, it's better. Luke Allen had to serve that 5-second penalty right off the start. He got the penalty for a severe collision, then immediately had to pit because he lost his wing in the collision. Puts him down to P18. And the man who said from first to don't look now is Zane Bradley, P6 from 18th on the grid.
Just staying well behind any of the trouble that unfolded behind him and just kind of rocketed up past everybody when they ducked into the pits, and here he finds himself in a great racing position. That last to first mission may actually come to fruition if he keeps his nose down and sticks to it.
The Williams trading fastest laps here.
Andrew Davis
takes the fastest lap. Oh, and then it's Zane Bradley with the fastest lap.
Possibly getting a good toe off his teammate coming down the straight. It is Andrew Davis, however, still right close on the tail of that AlphaTauri. He may have him here in the DRS, and he does.
That was
late as very late
like
move.
Woo!
It pays off, but the risk there was, wow, that was really something. Just staying in the toe for as long as possible almost cost him a front wing and possibly a spin, maybe even for the both of them.
I'll tell you, Andrew Davis has been sneaky quick the past few weeks. Other than a few incidents here and there, he's been able to work his way. He's been top 5. We saw last week had a good run there. So, good on them.
Gabe Cazzola looking to make a move on the outside of Tyler Crabtree right now. Does not quite have the space. He'll stay tight behind him.
Ayrton Frederick for company too. He's going to make these bold and daring. No, he's going to back out of it. Wise to that move.
Makes it interesting nonetheless. Closer to Gabe than Gabe is to Tyler. This will be an interesting fight right here for P8.
And don't look now. The Mikey de Jong's on the back of his teammate. What did they do here?
I'm sure team orders will come into play with these two. Obviously, veterans of
Oh
Formula One
no!
racing.
And the Haas we spoke so highly of. I believe that's another VSC. They're gonna have to pick up the Haas's front wing.
Oh no, he has lost his front wing entirely. Oh goodness.
He's gonna want to go slow through here. You have no front downforce. You cannot. Car feels like you're driving a Panzer tank, which is absolutely no turning radius. He's obviously gonna duck back. It's gonna hurt him, but under the VSC, I don't know if he'll lose too many positions. He might drop out of the points for sure.
Into the pits he will have to come, and it's Gabe Cazzola right behind him too. Also into the pits.
Did he incur any damages? Yeah, he's missing a few wiggly bits. His camera angle's a bit off. Serving a penalty. They get to working on it. Yeah, that's a front wing change. Ah, what felt so good for the Haas.
If you blinked,
P6,
you missed
down to
it.
P. Gonna get out in front of it? Yes, P14. Oh, he almost. It's a bit strange.
A drive-through penalty incurred for the Ferrari.
Oh, who's that? It's Adam Pelk around. Like I said, he's been struggling with the grippy and the rear tires. And he's, oh no.
Struggling to get it back straight. However, he does manage. Yellow.
Oh, never mind.
Right back into the wall. Little too early on the throttle. Yellow stays out for Sector 1. We're back to racing. Good to go. Loses a few positions out of it, but he's on hard tires. May be able to fight it back.
He just drove
grip.
into the Red Bull.
No.
Oh no.
No grip whatsoever in that Aston
He's
Martin, it
ripped
seems.
the front end plate off of the Red Bull. Luke has got to be
And he has
steaming
lost
mad.
his front wing in the process. Adam Pell currently without a wing. We are still green, though. Andrew Davis with Josh, still tight, keeping him company.
Yeah, the more they fight, it's going to pull Jonathan Jurgensmeyer right to the back of him. So, from his point of view, you want to keep seeing this. He's pulled the gap down quite a bit.
Jonathan Jurgensmeyer, of course, under no threat. 6-second gap to Matt Stott's currently P6.
Yeah, well, you got to remember, Matthew Stotts and his teammate, both Ferrari, starting at the rear of the field, 16th and 17th, making their way up. Stott's up 10 spots. Like I said, some of these drivers, you're going to just take what's given to them. In a place like Baku, you'll be given plenty.
And interestingly, up front, it looks like Mike de Jong has dropped about half a second to Abdullah Hazmi, maybe backing out a bit.
The telemetry there, Alex. Let the viewers see who has
Ooh,
DRS.
And it's Josh around! Big spin. Instantly corrects it, though. He's back rolling. We're back to green. But gives up that position to Jonathan Jurgensmeyer. Just free and clear to race for a podium now.
Yep, and those tires are going to be super overheated, and Matthew Stotts is going to pounce. And it's not going to help matters the fact that Josh just drove into the wall.
Oh, man.
Yep, he's got no end plate. He's going to be struggling through this last bit. If you see him go wide, just no downforce on the front wing. He's going to be a sitting duck here for the Ferrari.
Matt Stott's certainly smelling blood in the water.
Oh, they both go wide. I don't know what happened to Stotts there. He just had no front grip.
Josh, however, already losing 1.5 seconds of the gap between him and the Ferrari, and he will have to duck it in for a wing.
Oh, he's out. He's out. He's crashing the pit lane. He's absolutely smashed the wall. Just, that's... I don't understand what's going on there.
And his choice to shirk the qualifying ban has not paid off.
And he's caused a VSC. Not sure what he was thinking there. Just rookie mistakes. It's just, you hate to see it.
Well, Matt Stott's
safety car. I mean, we saw last week. It was a bit glitchy. We had retirements in the chicane there at Monaco. No safety car throughout the race. Not even a VSC.
Yeah.
So far, we've had 3 VSCs for debris and, a stricken AlphaTauri sitting in the middle of the pit road. And everybody from P8 back, strategy has completely been thwarted, so.
Still under VSC here as that AlphaTauri gets cleaned up off the pit entrance.
Get a moment to catch up breath. Trying to see where the closest battles are going to be on track once we get going again.
It looks like the fight for P9, Matt Daly might have something on Julius Dooku there. However, Julius, of course, on the medium tires. Matt Daly racing on the hards at the moment. And we're back
green.
to green. Racing it out once more. The Williams, of course, just kind of slowly pulling away. Gap, however, between Al-Hazmi and Mikey de Jong has grown to about 3 seconds. Ooh, slight step there for Abdul Al-Hazmi, but the car control just dominates all. Oh, and it's Andrew Davis who's had a spin. Jonathan Juergensmeyer free and clear up into that podium position. With Matt Stotts right on the tail of Andrew Davis now.
What a drive for Stotts. P16 to P5, fighting for P4. Sky's the limit for Ferrari. They need this for the championship. Is he going to go for it? Andrew left the door open, but just as he left it open, he closed it just as fast.
A tale of
seems like
two
the Ferrari's
Ferraris.
really struggling there in the dirty air. He's just so tight in the middle of the corner. He's going to have to rely on the DRS straights. Tyler Crabtree all the while. Yeah.
Yep, keeping them both company.
And that gap up front, 3.5. Al-Hazmi's doing what he needs to do to increase the gap. I mean, the strategy's going to be reversed. He's obviously going to be the first one to pit. He'll take on hards, whereas when Mikey de Jong goes in, he's going to take on the softer medium compound tire and be much faster. We'll just see where their strategies collide. Stay tuned.
Yeah, I can't imagine that at this point Mikey de Jong is doing anything but conserving. And Andrew Davis has managed to pull away quite decently from Matt Stotts.
I don't know if Stotts has a bit of damage. His car just has no forward bite in the corner. It's weird. I don't know if it's the hard tire compared to, well, yeah, Andrew's on the mediums, but it just seems so lethargic through the corner, like nothing happened.
Could certainly be Matt Stotts may be suffering from non-visual damage that we would not have any way of knowing is there or not, because being a video game, of course, damage is not always physically shown. Could be there, but may not sync.
Nick can, it'll just affect how the car handles. You can see so tight through that corner, whereas Tyler Crabtree's way quicker.
Rest of the field looking evenly spread out, it looks like. Jonathan Juergensmeyer, of course, has his work cut out for him up there, chasing down the Williams.
Yeah, that's a tall order, but hey, anything can change. Just one safety car can just throw a wrench into everybody's plans. The closest battle is these three here. Tyler Crabtree close, just slowly but surely reeling in the Ferrari. Oh.
Yellow's out.
Adam pelts around in front of the leaders. That's not good. Oh, you hate to see that.
Fortunately, Ghosted does a clean correction. Nice little half spin to get it going again. Back to green we go.
Yeah, I don't think his car is going to make it through this corner. It's going to be really hot tires here. The instability in that Aston Martin. Yep, there he goes. Up, yeah, that is a huge, huge shunt right there.
He has lost
another
spot. Wing. No, that's a terrible spot. Right at the end of Sector 1, coming into the...
Oh, no. He's spinning in...
Thank Jesus, of course. Going back to the fact that this is, after all, a video game. Car's able to just cruise right through. Oh, God. And this is...
Oh, no. To say the least, less than ideal. I mean, fair play to him. He's sticking to it. But, oh no.
quick on the throttle once again. The 6-point turn does pay off. He's back under power. He will be looking to put it...
Those were LeBron numbers. We're talking 34. Good God. All right. Now that my heart palpitations have simmered down.
Just a poor showing this weekend, it seems, for Adam Pelkin. He definitely has the pace and the skill any other weekend.
It's nothing against him. It's just... sometimes it's just... It be like that, you know? But fair play to him. He hasn't given up. Gonna go in, throw on another set of tires, another front wing, get back out there. What's the worst that can happen? Gain experience, learn from this. That's all you want as a driver. So, you know what? Keep your head down, push.
Above all, he will not be finishing last today, so... Yep, it's all just to learn.
That moniker.
Closes battle on track. Still for... Well, it was for P4, but now that Matt Stotts has kind of dropped off Andrew Davis, it is now a battle between...
Gabe working on the back here of the Ferrari. Travis, is that...
Is he looking to make a move? Does not appear so. The safety car is out.
Comes out, and Lance Stroll corner. That's session done. Again, well, not last place, but this will certainly help out Jonathan Jurgensmeyer, who... Oh, he gets into the pit. The Williams didn't pit.
Oh,
they stayed out.
What great timing. Oh, my goodness. Jonathan Jurgensmeyer playing his cards perfectly. Wow.
He's going to absolutely be able to go to the end here. What a master stroke from Haas.
Oh my goodness, what a
Andrew Davis
great
too,
strat.
P4.
Andrew Davis looking very pretty there in P4, also ducking into the pits for some hard tires.
Talk about luck. Cars will have to... Oh, and that's even terrible too.
They'll have to go once more around.
They have to maintain safety car speed because the Williams didn't pick up the safety car.
Right.
So they might be safe, but either way.
Well, they've completely hung themselves out to dry here. If they do choose to go in this instance, it will be Jonathan Jurgensmeyer free and clear.
Well, I think the one who's going to be definitely hung out to dry here is Mikey de Jong, who's on the hards. I mean, do you try and go 16 laps on the mediums? It's a tall ask. I mean, sure, it could probably be done, but those are going to be absolutely spent by the end of the stint. We said it would be a safety car. And listen, this might not be the last one either. We've had 3 VSCs, 1 major safety car. We've had 2 retirements, a lot of debris. We see Al Hazmi ducking into the pit. I think Al Hazmi actually, they might be good, the Williams, because they never picked up the safety car. So they're able to just maintain that delta. So I don't think they actually lost anything because they did have the gap. Oh, and they're going to double stack down at Williams.
Well.
Did they nail it?
Oh, we'll have to see.
They do. I mean, it's a bit slow, but I think the gap,
it looks good.
They are plenty clear, actually. I feel foolish thinking that...
Being the safety car, though, won't really matter much.
Yeah. I mean, at least Jonathan Jurgensmeyer is going to close the gap, but now I feel silly, too, because, I mean, Mikey de Jong will have the pace on the softer compound tire, maybe not at the end of the race, but if he gets a gap and gets by Al Hazmi, we saw last week, pit stops weren't a factor because he made the gap so big. This is going to help people out like Zane Bradley's had trouble. We've seen Travis, Luke hanging in there in the Red Bull. We saw the drive-through for Travis. Oriyoshi uncharacteristically down there in P14. Gabe's down in P13. Gabe choosing not to pit either. Still on the hard, 7-lap old hards. Luke on the 6-lap. Luke's ducking in the pit as I speak.
Interestingly, the Williams up front electing to take different compounds. Al Hazmi looking to stick it out on the hards. Mikey de Jong electing to take the mediums.
Well, they started the race on the opposites. Al Hazmi was on the mediums and Mikey de Jong on the hards. And in a perfect world where the race goes green throughout, those strategies would maybe match up at the end.
Right.
Al Hazmi was going to be faster on the first stint. Mikey de Jong a little bit slower on the hards, and then you do the switch like just a flick of a switch. Their strategies could have met up at the end, but we'll never know, because now we have the great equalizer that is an Aston Martin safety car, brought out by an Aston Martin.
As expected, though, the fireworks came out, and they came out early. I mean, this is the race start, and everything that's developed since is exactly how I would have planned for Monaco to go, but just by comparison, I mean...
Yeah, well, like I said, Monaco, there was no safety cars. It did not equalize the field once. And we saw plenty of instances where there should have been, but there wasn't.
Even still, coming through the first sector on lap 1 of here at Baku, we had plenty of accordion situations, plenty of wing damage, lots of cars coming together. And even at Monaco, I feel like we did not have a similar issue, at least coming into the first lap, but...
Yeah, we just had the one spin there through Sandoval there on lap 1, and that was... They pretty much kept their noses clean. I mean, they also... Monaco and Azerbaijan may be both street circuits, but they're apples to lug nuts in comparisons.
Of course.
I mean? Yeah.
Currently under our third safety car of the race, the first two, of course, being virtual safety cars. Waiting now for the rest of the pack to catch back up. And here's hoping that Luke Allen can catch the back of the field by the end of, say, Sector 2, in which case we will not need to go around once more.
And if you're watching at home, watching the broadcast, listening to the beautiful pipes that are Alex Fox's, crack the like button. Show some love. I see there's 5 people watching.
Please do if you're up for it.
Tell the family.
And of
Monday,
course,
I don't want to toot our horns here, but Monday night, the Indianapolis 250, Riker Loma will be on commentary for that one. Me and Alex will be trying to make the field, so cross your fingers,
we will be duking it out. And that will be a great race to watch. If you're interested enough to watch ARC F1, then there's no reason why you shouldn't be watching the Indy race come Monday. Make sure you tune in. I believe our start time is 8 o'clock? 7 o'clock. You can find it right here where you're watching this race.
Make sure to go check out last night's broadcast of the Indy Lights Series as well, the Freedom 75. Oh, all I can say is there was a real Talladega-esque feel to the race, and there were real Talladega-esque wrecks to go along with it, and a finish that you can only have to see to believe. It was a wild one coming down to the final corner, and heartbreak for many, including myself. I did not make it to the end of the race, unfortunately, but it was one of the most fun races I've had on Project Cars in a while. It was just such close racing back and forth. The draft, people, comers and goers. We're talking just in straightaways, so Make sure you look back at that one. That was a good one.
Back to this race, though, it looks like Luke Allen did not manage to catch the back of the pack by the end of Sector 2, so we will be going around under safety car once more. Of course, only serves to help the leaders, keeping those tires fresh, Mikey de Jong most of all. Next back from him on the mediums is Matt Stotts, currently P5. And then Ayrton Frederick, P8, also on the mediums, but everybody from there is running those hard tires, presumably to the end. Save for any more incidents, of course.
Just looking in the chat, Adam Peltz not comfortable with the wheel on this game. You could tell something was off there. I could relate to that, Adam. I do not like using the wheel in this game. When I play this game, I use the controller because it's just not for me, so to speak.
See, I feel like the key to succeeding in this game specifically on a wheel all comes down to your steering angle. If you have a wheel where you're able to set the rotation angle to only need to turn the wheel about a quarter of the way each direction to get full rotation, that's when you can have some success. But the sim wheels on default settings, racing F1, you're going to have to throw that wheel around a lot more than you're comfortable with in most situations, and it never goes well.
New for F123, a lot of people have been saying there's a lot more grip in the car. Feels a little bit more natural in the hands of the driver. So
Well,
look
and of
for that in
course,
the next coming weeks too. We'll be making the switch.
should be noted, of course, that that's just kind of the natural progression of the technology and whatnot in this new generation of Formula One cars. 2022 being the first season under the new regulations, there was a lot to figure out and whatnot that I feel that the 2023 cars have managed to work out. And so that's why we may be seeing better performance more than anything. But yeah, the game itself, F123, is looking to shape up a bit better than this one.
Safety car in. The Williams will lead the field.
Bunching everybody right up coming down that start-finish straight. Jonathan Jurgensmeyer poised to strike upon those Williams that have just been running circles around the rest of the field thus far.
Yeah. Now Asmi gets a great jump. Look at that. We got Matthew Stotts down the inside of Andrew Davis into one. It's gonna go.
On the inside line, will he have enough? Oh, and there's contact. His front right into the side pod of Andrew Davis. Andrew continues along, but Matt Stotts really gets the short end of that stick.
Oh, and there's more trouble there. There's contact all over the place through turn 2. Oh, the Ferraris were just... Matthew Stotts, in particular, was on pace. Up 10 spots.
He was running himself a great
race.
No! Tyler Crabtree looks up the inside. Oh, and that is the Williams of Abdullah Al-Hazmi, who has crashed out. Oh my goodness. On the exit of the corner, he is just too fast on the throttle and loses it. Oh.
Very uncharacteristic from the Williams driver.
And that is the first Williams retirement I think we've seen thus far in the season. Abdullah Al-Hazmi.
Been mistakes, but like you said, we've seen mistakes on tracks where there was a bit of runoff for them. There was nowhere to go, nowhere to hide from the barrier. Oh, it's a huge shakeup in the point standing.
Wow, it's only looking better and better for Jonathan Jurgensmeyer as this race moves along, it looks like. However, Andrew Davis holding tight behind him, fighting for that P2 spot. Blurry Julio a bit behind. He may be looking for that final podium position. However, he's got Jamie Knock keeping him company very close.
And look at Zane Bradley. He will not go away.
He will not quit.
The last of first challenge is still on. He's got a huge run on these guys.
He's looking to pick up the scraps of this fight. However, it's Jamie Knock with the move. Zane looking on the outside, coming down the straight, touches wheels, but does manage to make it stick for the moment. Does he have the space? He does, and he is ahead of the Mercedes of Julius Duku. Just barely, though. Wow.
What a move by the debut driver in the Haas.
And
Quick
to him,
word from Al Hazmi, and I quote, "I hate this game."
Oh,
Just heartache from the Williams driver.
Zane looking to make the move down the inside now of Jamie Knock, and he does.
Incredible.
Pinches him just a little, but I feel like he did give him enough space to make the corner, just does it a little better. And now it is the Haas boys.
I want to say, Alex, earlier this week, I saw in the chat, he said, "Somebody sign me, I will not disappoint." So this is a shot across the bow to all team owners right now. Look at this kid. Look at this guy. No one knows. His unknown joined earlier this week in his debut race, and from P18 up into P4 and chasing down his teammate, and he's on the better tires, and he's got nothing but pace. If he can just keep it mistake-free, this has got to be one of the best debuts we've seen, especially this season.
Crashed out of qualifying on his first hot lap of the session, of the season for him, of course, and you can only hope that that was just a situation where he just had to, get it out of his system, and now he's back to it.
Jonathan Jurgensmeyer lost P2 there to Andrew Davis. Jurgensmeyer looking to hunt him back down, but all the while, Zane Bradley right behind. He's actually pulled out a 1.1 second gap to the Alfa Romeo.
Already he has, yes. And Julius Duku getting the short end, stuck way back from Jamie Knock, will not get the toe and gets passed by Tyler Crabtree as a result off the DRS.
Boryoshi made his way back into the points. P10 at the moment, got by Matt Haley. Hunting down Gabe. Ooh.
Some tight battles here off the restart. Trains developing.
Oh, now here's Ayrton Frederick looking to capitalize on a struggling Mercedes. Can't quite make the move stick.
Jonathan Jurgensmeyer clawed his way back within a second of Andrew Davis. The gap was at one point about 2 seconds, now down to about 8 tenths. Teammate Zane making up time on him also all the while.
Yeah, I don't know, what does Jonathan Jurgensmeyer do here? I mean, to be fair, Zane isn't signed to a team. He has no gloves to put on, no gloves to take off for that matter as well. He has no affiliation with the team. He's just stepping in a reserve role. I don't think he's going to sit back and not take the fight. He's going to go for a debut podium, you got to think.
You have to at this stage. I mean, from last to first, that's quite the feat, given that these Williams were racing, obviously, but last to podium, sheesh, that would certainly be plenty to be proud of.
Oh, yeah, that'll go smack dab on the reserve. Oh, no! We've had an incident. Luke Allen's around out of... lost by track. Turn 15.
It is Luke Allen who has had an incident. Yellow's out in Sector 2, however, back to green.
He's gathered it up and kept going.
Jonathan Jurgensmeyer just eating tenths up. In the previous half a lap, he's already eaten up about a tenth and a half, but instantly loses it. Interestingly,
Jamie
exiting turn 2.
Back in the Haas. He'll have DRS. Did
Right
Zane
up
cook
to the
those
back.
mediums too fast?
We've yet to see. Of course, Jamie Knock right behind him on the hard tires, so may have the tire advantage come later in the stint. But for now, just holding tight, watching what develops ahead of him. As we have developed quite a train here for P2, from Andrew Davis to Jonathan Jurgensmeyer and Zane back to Jamie Knock.
Yeah, that's a good problem to have, to be honest. Because there is differing tire strategies now. Because you got people that are, like I said, they may be quick off the. Oh, we got trouble.
Quick trouble. Somebody may have stepped out, didn't quite catch it, but we're back to green.
Maybe Travis and Ferrari's dropped down to P15. Oh, I just quickly saw out of 15, Matthew Stotts hits the wall. I didn't see anything fly off the car, so we will see.
Matthew Stotts, of course, racing his way back up from the final racing position after a big incident. Was running as high as P4. Then all the way down the grid he goes, now finds himself in a point-scoring position, but will be looking to get more from it. And at this point, really, it's kind of Mikey de Jong's race to lose. However, being on the softer compound, and Andrew Davis, Jonathan Jurgensmeyer behind him being on the hard compounds, it may end up being interesting come the end of the race, but for now it is certainly him pulling ahead. Jonathan Jurgensmeyer just not quite getting enough pace to get right up to the back of that Alpine of Andrew Davis. He's maintained the gap right around 7 or 8 tenths for the previous 2 laps.
Yeah, all this is helping is Crabtree just make his way back up to the rear wing of the Alfa Romeo. We saw this in real life. What was it? Esteban Ocon was holding up the majority of the field. He was the cork in a bottle.
I will say, though, for all intents and purposes of the racing, the driver at the front of a bottleneck is not the issue. It is the drivers behind him that are unable to make the pass with the DRS and all the advantages. So any driver not able to get past Andrew Davis at the moment is kind of just shooting themselves in the foot.
Yeah, it looks like Zane's putting the push on now. He's going to go for a move here on his teammate. Look at the speed, 217 miles an hour, all the way down to 67, and Jonathan Jurgensmeyer just lets him go.
Not a fight he's looking to have at the moment, knowing that Zane is on the medium compounds. Jonathan Jurgensmeyer may be looking to make his tires last just a bit longer.
Zane was so rapid down that straight, he set the fastest Sector 3.
And right up onto the back of that Alpine he goes now. He'll be looking to take a shot at it.
Hopefully he does not let the nerves get the best of him here.
In a podium position, let the record show.
Yeah, absolutely. Blurry Julio's is around out of turn 4.
He's lost a wing, but he has managed to get it going again. Recovers with a nice little half spin. Back racing he goes. However,
I think
it looks like a VSC might have been deployed for the cleanup. Our 4th safety car, 3 of them being VSCs thus far.
No. It's been 4 VSCs and 1 safety car.
Really? Have I lost count already?
Cars. I think we just... Yeah, it's...
I think it's only been 1 full safety car and all the rest being virtual safety cars.
Either way. Again, it's not going to hurt Mikey DeYoung. It's not going to bunch the field back up again.
Matt Stott's taking the gamble of a lifetime. Only driver on track at the moment on the soft tires.
That's a bit risky. Not sure what you're going to gain there. I mean, you had to drop out of the points in order to...
Into the rear of the Alpine of Andrew Davis goes Zane. Just kind of nudges him out of the way. Gets the inside line for turn 1 and makes it stick. Up into 2nd place he goes. Wow. What an interesting move that was. And it's Jamie Knock also getting a spot on Jonathan Jurgensmeyer for P4. Jonathan Jurgensmeyer may be struggling a little bit, at least maybe off that virtual safety car restart. He'll be fighting back to claw his way back to that podium position that he was holding so well. It's the Alfa Romeo of Ayrton Frederick that has had himself quite the incident. Crashes out.
I just looked back, Alex, at that turn 1 incident. Heading into 1 with the Alpine and the Haas, and Andrew just threw such a late block. I mean, there's nowhere for him to go.
Not much to be done. Luckily, though, they only managed to touch wheels, and no trouble seemed to really come of it. So, back to racing we go. However, it is the Alfa Romeo of Ayrton Frederick that ends up out of the race.
Jonathan Jurgensmeyer and all that down to P5, but safe for Boryoshi. He's got an 8-second gap to the Red Bull driver.
And the only drivers on track with DRS enabled will be Andrew Davis, Jamie Knock, and Jonathan Jurgensmeyer. Nobody else maintaining a gap of less than 1 second to the driver ahead.
This will be interesting to see what happens. We see the Haas harvesting, we see the light blinking. Harvesting and deploying, harvesting, deploying. Just desperately trying to keep that P2. You gotta think this man will be signed by the time we go racing next week.
Oh, you can only hope. I mean, if this performance is anything, even if he were to crash out from this position, he has shown the confidence and the wherewithal to get that car where it needs to be. And I imagine that if he goes uncontested, as long as he doesn't have any incidents involving a crash with another car, he should be able to keep it clean for the rest of the way. Matt Stotts, of course, only driver on track on the soft compound tires, manages to pull out the fastest lap here with 6 laps to go.
Yeah, he's on the hunt now. 3-second gap to Luke Allen, who's in the last point-paying position. It's a tall order, but if anybody could do it, it's Stotts, who's on fresher tires, softer compound, setting purple sectors.
And if he can keep his wits about him, he may be sniffing at P9 also, Tyler Crabtree's position. Good way to double his points haul for the weekend right there. However, it's Tyler Crabtree right up onto the back of Gabe Cazzola for P8 at the moment. Gabe cuts him going into the corner and gets the better exit. However, they're still right there duking it out through the castle section.
Tyler Crabtree also on soft tires. So this is Most likely not even going to be. Yep, you see him.
Yep.
Goodbye.
Gets right alongside Gabe
Oh, 2 into
Cazzola.
1 wouldn't work. Oh, and Gabe goes wide into the wall. He's going to be
Loses his
very tight.
wing. Loses his wing for his troubles, and he will not be looking to take that fight back to Tyler Crabtree.
The only person that's going to help is Matthew Stotts. And Luke Allen as well, who might lose the spot to Stotts. But, I mean, you got to think. Gabe's got a pit. You see him through the last sector here. It's just no front wing.
Fortunately, he lost his wing late enough in Sector 2 where there were not too many medium or low-speed corners for him to have to fight his way back through. So he should be able to get back into the pits. However, he chooses not to? Has Gabe Cazzola left it out? He stays out, missing a wing to fight for P8. Oh, I'm sure he got confident knowing that the pace down the front stretch was enough, given that he didn't really need a wing for it. But now that he's going through the first sector, I'm sure he's kind of kicking himself for it.
All these people trying to steal these fastest laps gotta know they need to finish in the points for it to count. Andrew Davis hasn't lost touch, though, to the Haas. He's going to get a massive run if he gets a good corner here.
Andrew Davis may be looking to take the fight to Zane.
Yeah, Zane's pretty much
coming down the stretch now. Yep. It will be Andrew Davis, of course, with the DRS coming down the stretch. Is it enough, though? Zane seems to be really pushing. Yeah. No ERS to deploy. Full defend.
Hey, he's still P2.
Harvests just a little.
Tyler Crabtree's around.
Oh, no. Has got it going again. However, he has relinquished the position to Gabe Cazzola in the meantime.
Yeah, Gabe can't turn, though.
Gabe just instantly loses
Stotts
that position.
has nowhere to go.
Yeah, Stotts really got the short end of that one.
He's running a zero wing.
If Gabe was smart, he would duck it in here. However, he's electing not to. Second lap out.
He's gonna just go straight through the corner here.
He has to brake a lot earlier, and there's just absolutely nowhere for Matt Stotts to go. Oh no.
I mean, I get it, but at the end of the day, you're not gonna maintain the points position here.
It looks like Gabe, I mean, for as wise as you want to call him staying out without a wing, he at least wisely backs out of the fight with Stotts, it looks like. And he'll just be fighting, currently 7 seconds to P11, Fidel Fabian. He'll be looking to hold that as tight as he can. Coming through now with about 3.5 laps left to race.
0.6 the gap again as they head down the front straight to come to 3 to go. Does Andrew Davis have anything for Zane Bradley?
It doesn't look like it. Surprisingly, though, I'm surprised that Jonathan Juergensmeyer has not seemed to find the pace to take the fight back to Jamie Knock, at least for P4. I mean, he should be fighting Andrew Davis for that final podium position, but seems to just have laid off the fight. Holding tight in P5 at the moment.
Yeah, yellow flags in the castle section for Julio and the Mercedes. Got a bit out of sorts. Got it gathered up. But say what you want, but in him running from Andrew Davis, Zane's brought the gap down from 5.7 to 5.2.
It looks like it. Neither of them, Zane or Andrew Davis, with any DR or any ERS to deploy. They've both been eating through any energy they've recovered. For one defending and the other attacking.
Yeah, but it just happens in the same spot. Oh, what? Andrew, what can you do here? What can you... This is... Might be psychological, getting in the mirrors, letting them know that red arrow that Zane will be seeing on screen could be very distracting, especially in a tight corner like that.
Jamie Knock, in the meantime, has seemed to turn it on at least a bit. He has pulled away from Jonathan Juergensmeyer, and in so doing, he's pulled himself within a second and a half of Andrew Davis. Gap was about 2.5 seconds.
I don't think there's enough in it for Andrew here.
I don't think he will have what it takes to get a good line through here to make the pass. He does not. Through turn 1 we go, and it is Zane holding tight by about half a second. However,
I mean, either way, this is a really good day for Andrew Davis. Like we said before, he's had pace all season. It's just been incidents that kind of hampered him, sitting P8 in the championship, but a P3 really helped him out, especially with his closest competitor in the points, out of the points at the moment. That would be Fidel Fabian, sitting P11, but unfortunately, Gabe, who's still out there, barring 20-lap old tires and 0 front wing, still sitting in the final points paying position.
And still about 7 seconds gap. Oh, and is that Travis with an incident?
Yeah,
or
he
is
just went a bit wide. He didn't make any contact with the wall, but he certainly teased it. Is this the lap Andrew gets him?
Waiting on bated breath. Jamie Knock just kind of watching from a bit of a gap, looking to pick up the scraps of the fight happening ahead of him. Does Andrew have it, though? He's definitely close enough here coming down the start-finish straight. Battery favors neither of them, as mentioned. They've just been all pushed, no harvest.
Both of them at absolute 0.
Andrew deploying the very last of his, yeah.
But it's not going to be enough.
It is not, and I thought surely Andrew coming out of turn 19 about 2/10 behind Zane. I thought for sure he'd have him on the DRS, but here we are, still holding tight.
And the house gets such a good exit out of 2 that you can't do anything into 3 if you're the Alpine. It's gonna be frustrating. But again, you gotta, if you're Andrew, you gotta just hold your chin up. I mean, what a result, getting a podium.
Fabian now right on the back of Gabe, as mentioned, on old tires, missing a front wing for the final point scoring position. Will he have enough?
Oh, I'm sure of it. I mean, turn 1, things gonna be driving a tractor trailer going through it, especially at low speed.
Oh, and there's nowhere for him to go. Oh, and it's Gabe hanging it around the outside. On the final lap now. Oh, and he turns him.
I mean,
Fidel turns Gabe. Nowhere for him to go. I mean, granted, I can't imagine it was intentional.
At the same time, you know that the Alpine was holding him. Oh, Travis getting Luke.
Yeah.
But I mean, Fabian's gonna come out of that looking. It looks bad on him.
Mikey de Jong now coming down the final portion of the the start-finish stretch, I'm sorry. And he will be taking victory here at Baku for the 2023 ARC F1 Azerbaijan Grand Prix. It is Mikey de Jong, 2 weeks in a row, finds himself on the top step.
Yeah, unfortunate there for his teammate. They were looking at another 1-2. While Zane was fast, I just don't think he was Williams fast, if that makes sense.
Luke Allen maybe looking to put a move on Travis here for P11, but does not seem to have it at the moment. Fabian seems to be free and clear with that final point scoring position. However, it's Luke Allen with the much better run on Travis coming out of the final corner.
There could be penalties coming post-race for the spin. Let's see what Luke does here. I mean, I think the Ferrari's going to have... Oh, it's going to be so close.
It's going to be very close. He's going to have to jank out right about now.
Oh, he's going to get him.
He's going to get him. Oh, and Luke Allen at the line takes Travis Van Oostendorp by 200ths of a second. .026 is the gap on that finish, and it's Luke Allen in P11. Gabe finishing it out. However, not the prettiest finish. He does manage to make it stick out for the end of the race for P13. But of course, it's Mikey de Jong kind of running away with this one after the incident involving his teammate. It was his race to lose, and he made sure not to. Zane Bradley, the rookie reserve, taking the second podium position by surprise, although probably not to him. He called it to some extent. He did say last to first. So very impressive for him, and of course Andrew Davis on the final step of the podium taking P3 for that Alpine. What a great race, what an interesting race. Lots of restarts, lots of safety cars, both virtual and not. But wow.
Yep.
Mikey de Jong, yet again, 2 weeks in a row, finds himself on the top step of the podium.
Yep, got everybody added, so it's just waiting on the others to join. But while we have you, Mikey de Jong, a bit unfortunate what happened to the teammate today. You know, you guys have been very consistent. I believe that's the first retirement for you guys. But you got it. Walk us through that race.
Well, yeah, the pace of my teammate was very good. He had a lower wing than me, and so he was driving away on the straights. Uh, and overall he was quicker, but the safety car restart he didn't heat up his tire enough, so he spun in the second sector. So he could have done that better. But from there, I thought I'll just take it home, drive away as far as possible with the medium tires, because I knew they would fall off at the end. Because at like 20, I was like stressing because the tire was so high, and I didn't knew if the tire were gonna make it to the end. So I was slowing down so the tire wasn't that bad. But yeah, from there I just finished it from.
We saw you guys starting on alternate tires, you and your teammate there. Al Hasmi starting on the mediums, you starting on the hards. That safety car, you feel kind of poor timing for the strategy?
I mean, for my teammate it was perfect, but for me it could have been if it was 2 laps later, it would have been perfect for me. But it worked out anyway, so.
Well, no mistakes by you, that's for sure. Another dominant victory for the team. Congrats again. Move over to Andrew. Andrew, we've talked about you pre-race, about the consistency. You've had a bit of bad luck, but I mean, you're sitting there on the podium, P3. What a race. Walk us through that.
Man, I came in here. I did it last season off AJ Knickel wrecking on the second to last lap. I came in with some expectations after qualifying. Didn't really think I'd end up there. Lap one went from 7th to 4th after some wrecks in front of me, and then I just drove.
Yeah, it
That's
was super clean race, mistake free. Your teammate unfortunately can't say the same. It's a bit of an issue there. Decided to stay out for almost 10 laps with no front wing. Didn't work out. Trying to gather points. Still be an incident you'll see later on. But I mean, talks to that battle. Unfortunately, second place driver didn't come in for an interview, but man said on debut he was going to go from P18 to P1, and obviously you guys, there was a late block there. I saw you try to throw a block going into one. You kind of forced his hand to kind of just hit you in the gearbox there, but then going into the corner, like, describe the battle you had with the Haas there.
Man, I was much faster in the corners. Just the medium tire, he got in front of me. I just couldn't pass him on the straightaway. Car just didn't have the engine today, unfortunately.
It's got to be frustrating sitting there lap after lap after lap after lap, just looking at the same rear wing, and you just, both of you guys had, you could see it on the broadcast, both of you guys were just full deploy. He was defending while you're attacking in the same exact spot, and ultimately it was just a chain. I mean, I will say this, while you two were fighting, you guys were increasing the gap on one of the faster drivers on the grid in the Alfa Romeo. You guys were pulling away from him, so whatever you guys were doing to pushing each other was pushing the pace for both of you guys. It was a good run, man. Congratulations.
Thank you. Congrats to Mikey on the win. Have a good afternoon.
All right, Alex, I don't think we're going to get Zane in here, but
I think that'll conclude it. He's having some technical difficulties with his microphone, it seems, but great race from him either way. I mean, he called it, he called his shot, and it's not the result he was probably most confident in, but for what it was great to watch.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, what can you say about the finish there with Luke at the line? And my game crashed.
Excellent. Well, I guess that'll wrap it up from here. We thank you for tuning in to the ARC 2023 Formula One Azerbaijan Grand Prix. And of course, make sure you tune in Monday night for the Indy 250 special event. And we'll see you for the next Grand Prix. Signing off.
Have a good week.